Hello, everybody. You know what time it is. I know what time it is. That's right. We all know what time it is. It's time for Syntext Live. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing a lot better than I am at the moment because it's been kind of messed up so far. Hopefully, the chat doesn't die on us like it did last week. For those of you who were there and it just quit, I did everything I could think of. I even pulled up another YouTube on this phone to show me how to reconnect without actually losing the stream. Nothing worked. I don't know why. But it just quit. So nothing personal, guys. It just dropped. So now that it's been 30 seconds and everybody has skipped through those advertisements that they keep trying to shove on me, thanks again for everybody joining. And I do have to thank all our new visitors, our new subscribers, and everybody else out there. So before we get into it, how about we pop a top? And just like all the rest of my viewers who are, like this says, a bunch of bad motherfuckers, let's get to it. Okay, just so you guys know, the reason there was no videos for a couple of days, I had a family emergency come up. It is what it is, guys. It's kind of hard to write when you're driving a lot. Okay. Thankfully, everybody's okay. You know, thank God on that one. But you know, it is what it is. So I hope I didn't piss anybody off too much. Because of that, unfortunately, there's no video drop tonight. I will be doing everything I can to actually do a video tomorrow. However, we all know it's Thanksgiving, so we'll see what happens. You know, maybe I'll just be like one of those guys, one of the married guys, and be, you know, hiding somewhere as the in-laws are around. You know, I gotta write this down, you know, real quick. But anyway, for those of you who are going to be celebrating Thanksgiving, you know, I'll give you an early one. Happy Thanksgiving. And just so you know, when I did work at Costco, I was a seasonal worker. I always said this during Thanksgiving as I'm helping people, you know, bring their stuff out. I'd see this big pile of groceries. I go, oh, getting ready for Thanksgiving. And then I would make sure I looked over at the liquor bottles in front of, oh, the in-laws are visiting. And the women would look at me with just this weird look, and the guys would always laugh. And the best one, no shit, the guy reached over and goes, yep, her mother, her father's going to be there, her sister or my sister-in-law is going to be there. He's just lifting the bottles up, and she's getting a little bit madder as it goes along. But I'll tell you what, guys, it raised everybody's spirits, no pun intended. So it is what it is. Again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. So on to what did happen over the week. First off, with Alien Wildlife Sanctuary, didn't go over as well as I'd hoped it would, but it didn't go over badly. So I appreciate you guys helping out. Somebody put in the comment section that I should upgrade that on the 3030 to a 308. Now, the reason for the 3030 is if you look on the Winchester 3030 advertisement, what it can shoot, it actually had a T-Rex on there. That's why during the Jurassic Park, the guy actually went around with a Winchester 3030 chambered in 44 caliber. I'm sorry, but 44 is not going to do anything except piss it off. It will barely feel like a freaking bee sting to something that large. That's why I went with a higher one. Now, he's right. The 308 is the most battle-tested round ever throughout all of human history as far as firearms are concerned. Nothing has beat the 308. Why the hell we got away from it? Probably because, you know, the new kids have scrawny arms and they can't lift something with the 308. Dude, give me the M14. I will still do CQB. I will sling that motherfucker. I'll pull out my pistol and I'm going to go in through there. You know, it is what it is. But unfortunately, they're stingy about pistols. I think they're afraid we're going to shoot each other. We might. Okay. On the next one that dropped, the fire ship. You know, Claymore, Claymore, Claymore. I was about to use Tora, honestly, but I figured that was too much on the nose. You know what I mean? Actually, the idea for that one came from one of you audience members, actually. And I won't mention exactly who she is, but I see she's in the comment section. Brought up a good fact that a lot of what I was doing with the micro jumps was to jump a large ship into the middle of the enemy formation and then use the turreted weapons to just screw everybody up. However, To do that, you need a void in their formation. Well, if you don't have a void, the only other idea is to get something in there to force the ships apart. Now, primarily, I would use some sort of explosive, preferably something in the nuclear range, something in the megatons range to try and disrupt everything. But you need some sort of shrapnel, which you're right. You need some sort of shrapnel on that. But the idea of a fire ship, which is what it was back when sailing ships were the only way to fight on the ocean, was a huge deal, and it screwed up the enemy formation. Now, an explosion in space, as we all know, is not just going to work, okay? It's still a nuke, don't get me wrong, but without some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Medium to actually push against the other ships, it's not going to work. It's going to be a nice little flash, but honestly, without an atmosphere to become the medium, there's no actual shockwave. However, there still is the EMP shockwave, and there's a lot of heat. So you can use that to your advantage to make the exterior of the hull very, very brittle, and then have all those ball bearings go in and say, surprise, guys, you're dead. And of course, you're going to be venting atmosphere and a whole bunch of other things, because remember, there's a million ways to die in space, and they all suck. So, whoever put in the comment section that was grunt logic, well, guess what? We got people here that are grunt logic. Always good to have grunt logic. And somebody else put in the comments how it's the world's largest scatter gun. It wasn't a gun. It wasn't targeted. It was omnidirectional. It's an actual explosive. That's why I used Claymore. That being said, the front bow was covered, so it did pepper at that carrier that was there, specifically to fuck up that carrier, because as I mentioned before, carriers in space combat are almost pointless. You can stack a whole lot of drones inside a battleship if you want space combat with drones zipping around each other. However, if you're going to land anything on terra firma, on a planet, you need an invasion carrier to handle carrying that type of equipment. But carriers in that situation are going to be very, very, very fragile. So, you blast it with, 6 billion ball bearings, 8 billion, one for every person on this planet. Believe me, they're not landing on anything anytime soon. I've seen what a Claymore can do to somebody. It's actually gruesome. All right. On to the next one that came out, the auction. Okay. One of you guys actually brought up the fact that I was doing a lot of things from just the military perspective. I wanted to adjust it to another perspective. And it didn't occur to me until later on that I was literally doing a, what did it say? I got restitution of freedom, as in sound of freedom. Basically, yeah. That's pretty much what it was. The only difference is they're going to be training those guys to spin around and actually free themselves. That being said, that was one of my ideas for a Star Wars show, if they actually would commission me for it. But now, since Star Wars is pretty much dead, I can just say this. The whole idea was after or during the Clone Wars, you got a bunch of people going in and taking the discarded battleships there, piecemealing them together, doesn't matter which side they were fighting on, and create their own fleet. And then they would go and just like steal slaves, execute the slave traders, and then say, hey, you got two choices. I can either drop you off on your home planet, or you're probably going to become a slave again, or you can train with us and we're going to go kill these motherfuckers and we're going to save more of your people. So which one you want? And the option is there. Now, I don't know too many, if they realize what they can do once you put a weapon in their hand, they're just going to be like, okay, I'm going to hurt someone. Now, the one thing I hinted at, but in this universe that I was talking about on that, the whole idea of pleasure slaves does not have the same connotation as it did in other ones. Reason being, if the species are too different, would you want to mate with, I don't know, a giant roach? Would you be interested in having kids with a, I don't know, 6 foot tall rabbit with, you know, claws on his face. You know, it's the whole idea of a pleasure slave was to either consume it as uh, a delicate meal, or I'm sorry, as a delicacy, or you're going to have fun doing bad things, as in torturing the damn thing. That's the whole idea of pleasure slaves in that universe. So yeah, that's why there wasn't any idea, any of the snoo you guys usually get to deal with. But since there wasn't a lot of comments on that one, I'm going to move down to the holograms one. It seems like this got a lot of people to be like, oh, okay, that's, yeah. The whole idea was to hint at what was going on before I actually announced it. And thankfully, I saw in the comment section, most of you got it before you even finished it. So that was good. Just a heads up on that. Just remember, most spacefaring races aren't going to be used to ground combat anymore. So them dealing with, you know, D-Day, actual Normandy in June 6, 1944, yeah, they probably shit themselves with the amount of craziness that goes on. You know, and I actually had to stop myself from using one line. I might use it later, but I'm going to let you know what it is. And I kind of copied this from a certain movie, and I think you guys know which one. When he says, what Xenos call hell, humans call home. You know, that was kind of going to be kind of in that. Now, one of you guys actually brought in, how good would you do in like Omaha Beach? Well, that would depend on which wave you go in. Because when the first wave hit the beach, the sun wasn't up yet. All the defenders were just literally waving their weapons across the beach, hoping they hit something. And it was literally a spray and pray situation. They're also having to deal with all the artillery that's landing, so it's going to kind of rock you. So your aim is going to be even farther off on that. They didn't put any mines on the beach. They weren't getting any artillery fire at that point, so you could actually get pretty far. Actually, 4th ID was the first ones to land at Normandy. That's why when I was in 4th ID, every time we released a division formation, it was first at Normandy. No joke. I double checked it, and they were the first ones to land. That whole thing about Rangers lead the way, they were on the 3rd fucking wave, so they can kiss my freaking sweaty nuts, okay? The more I learn about Rangers, the less I deal with their bullshit, okay? Now, if you want to go there and go to Ranger school for the points, fine. But I'm sorry, just like Terrence Pop said, the standard has been dropped so low, and then you have the badge protectors that make it even worse. And it's just, it's to me, if I had anybody who came from Ranger school or Ranger regiment, and they said the first thing out of their mouth was, now in Ranger bat or in Ranger school, it's just like, just start pushing, motherfucker. I don't have time for your bullshit. I just do not have time for your crap. The reason being is their arrogance would get all of us hurt. And it was horrific. It was just, And before you say Rangers are special forces, they're not, okay? Just like Marines, they're fucking shock troopers, okay? They can argue my point with that all they want. They are fucking shock troopers. If they don't like it, again, find the darkest part of my ass and kiss it repeatedly, because I don't care. Okay. Okay, I'm getting spun up, guys. I'm getting spun up. Hold on. Let me get a drink here. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, with the whole thing with what you would do on D-Day, you might survive a whole lot better than you did, or than you think. Okay, there was a very brief time. It was the second, it was the second wave. That's the wave they were talking about and showing during Saving Private Ryan. They landed just as the sun had come up and illuminated, literally just come over and was right in their face. So the accurate fire was actually coming from the defenders at that point. And they were using mortars to extremely good amount. The heavy artillery was lacking, and which is a good thing too, because they had a good chance of pushing everybody back into the sea. But the chances of you actually surviving D-Day are a lot higher than you think. Don't get me wrong. Again, there was a certain timeline where you're pretty much fucked. But that really depended on where you were. If you've watched any documentaries on it, you know there were certain machine gunners, one in particular who was in the absolute right spot. He almost melted down both barrels of his MG42 or 30. I forget if it was a 42 or a 34, but he just cooked that motherfucker. And when he was waiting for the barrels to cool, he just pulled out his pistol. He kept going. Talk about a badass. He just wouldn't stop fighting. So, speaking of fighting, on to the one that just dropped today with the Galactic Arena. Now, somebody brought this up in the comment section that the trope that keeps being used is that the higher gravity of Earth would make us a death world. Yes and no. If there's something there that no matter what you do can kill you, then it is a death world. Because we have so many things on this planet that can kill us, we would be, depending on how you do the math, between level 7 and 13. I've seen people break this down, and everybody breaks it down different. So I just took the two extremes on that, 7 to 13. Okay. It depends on how much is condensed in each check and balance on that. Usually anything seismic would mean earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, all that stuff is counted in one. Okay. So to include the magma flow, pyroclastic flow, and everything else that happens from a volcano. So again, that counts as one for some people. Some that counts as 5. So it is what it is. But I will see what I can do about getting away from the tropes. That being said, they're fun to use. Makes things a little easier, but I'll do what I can. Now, a lot of people are saying, I need to do more. I need to do more on Galactic Arena. Guys, if it gets a lot of views, I will put it on the roster. The roster is sitting right there, about 4 feet from my hand, of the series that I need to continue. And these are ones that you guys have requested. So I will, again, it depends on views, folks. It really does. It depends on views and how many people request. Okay. You get enough requests in the comment section. I don't really have a choice. I'm just going to have to do it, ain't I? So, also the reference of Jonah Hex. I'm glad a couple of you got that one. That was just I wanted to show that this guy, even though he's not a actual trained soldier, he's a bit of a badass. Let's see. Okay, the only other comment that kind of came up is somebody went into my old stuff, really old stuff, and there's actually a video when I first started. I was going to literally take different science fiction universes and see if they invaded Earth, would they survive? I didn't get very far because I wasn't making a lot of views on that, but it was right when I started out, so maybe I should have kept going with that. But there are a lot of channels that do that, and they have much better graphics than I do. I do not have the time to go through all of them. I wish it did. I don't. It is what it is. That being said, I decided to tear apart Star Wars, and it's actually a lot easier than most of the other ones. It'd be a lot harder to tear apart 40K. It really would. That being said, it wouldn't be super hard to tear apart 40K until you get certain Xenos, which would literally turn this planet into a fire pit in like 10 seconds, or get run over by the what was the Starship Trooper fight? Oh yeah, the Tyranids. They fight the Tyranids, and we would get overrun in a matter of probably an hour. But if you're just going, soldier to soldier, I don't care how strong you are inside that armor, you get hit by if it's 105 Sable round, you're not surviving that shit. But anyway, as far as Star Wars is concerned, their main problem is because they're science fantasy, they're easy to break apart with actual science. That is why when you actually put almost every single or any of the sci-fi universes against Star Wars loses, and they lose bad. I mean, seriously, bad. They lost bad against the Babylon 5 universe. Even with all and I'm talking their whole, the entire armada of the Empire. They lost. No matter how I squeeze the numbers, they just were just destroyed. And it came down to one of the major factors is range in their ships and the speed in which they could travel. Without hyperspace lanes, they don't travel very fast. It's faster than the Babylon 5 jump gates. However, the jump points can be opened anywhere. Hyperspace lanes are very limited, which means you can basically spawn camp these motherfuckers. They come in and you're just like, okay, see you in hell. Click, kaboom. There goes a whole bunch of explosions. Plus, you can wrap your folks around it in the worst cul-de-sac ever. And as they're coming out, they're all of a sudden like, oh, there's some ships. There's ships all over. Oh, we are so screwed. And let's face it, once you start adding all the different species, they're done. They are seriously done, son. The Star Trek universe, with the numbers, they held up a little better, surprisingly. That being said, they still lost. And they lost for one simple reason. They cannot counter the longer range and especially the stealth. And yes, I've seen that, Leonid. The stealth that they just show up and just start blazing away, and then they turn their stealth back on and disappear like a fart in the wind before anybody turns those big turbo lasers. They're done. They would just get picked apart. Okay, what they say? One bee sting hurts, but 1,000,000 will kill you. Well, there you go. Death by 1,000 motherfucking Klingon plasma anal charges or whatever the hell they're called. I don't know. But they're not the only ones. You know, you're talking a dozen different species with a dozen different types of ships and 24 different types of battle tactics. That being said, the space station wouldn't stand a chance. I'm sorry, just no. It will be torn apart in a matter of less than a minute. They'd have enough time to pray to whatever gods they got, and then friggin' they're done. They would just be wrecked. They don't have the ability to take up that much firepower. The whole idea is to dodge it. Now, the only ones that I never want to place anyone against fleet versus fleet is 40K. Reason being is the numbers are so goddamn high. Their armor is, the numbers they show there are so crazy high. You couldn't even stop that with a sable round, point blank from a goddamn tank. I mean, most of the stuff, it just shake off. Now, you need something like a railgun to actually put through it, or a gauze rifle, whatever the hell you want to call it. You need something like that. If you don't, the guys from 40K are just going to go, oh, look at these motherfuckers. They think they can hurt us. You know, it's just that simple. That being said, Earth versus Star Wars, I believe it was, I forget the channel it was. They did, if the Star Wars universe came to this planet and decided they didn't want us, they would just stay out of our range and just bombard the shit out of the planet. We have enough weapons we might be able to take down one or two of those big battleships, but they'd still friggin' annihilate this entire planet. That being said, if they decide to come in the atmosphere, they are so beyond screwed. We would hit them with so much friggin' ordnance. I don't care how much Durasteel you put on that motherfucker. We get a couple missiles inside that lower deck, especially something that has, something in the megaton range. That ship's coming down in freaking pieces. Not to mention, we have EMP weapons. What happens when one of these things crashes into the ground? It's going to get freaking swarmed. And their best chance at that point is to turn on their engines and then blow the entire ship. Well, they still lost the damn ship. And it's not in them to blow the ship. I've never, ever once, maybe some of you guys who read the lore more have known people to actually destroy their own ship in Star Wars, but I've never seen it. I've seen captains off themselves or heard about it before they got captured, but I've never heard them blow the ship. It's called asset denial, and they just don't do it. Now, aside from the big battleships, again, giant target, fairly easy to take down, just got to take out its engines. And we have the ordnance that can do that. Definitely have the ordnance. Hell, My viewers over there, over in Europe, you guys have the ordnance to do it. I know you do because I know what type of stuff you have. You get a couple dozen of those Gripens in the air, followed up by a couple of those missile batteries, and good night, Irene. You guys have that shit, and some of your missile batteries are better than the shit we got. Not to mention, I've seen what the Avenger can do. I believe that's what they call it, the new artillery. That thing is dead nuts accurate. It deploys really fast. Scary good. Anyway, you get them on the ground, and let's face it, Star Wars, their on the ground shit is a bad joke. The only thing I would want is to be able to salvage a couple of those repulsor engines, strap it onto my car so I can just zip down without burning any fuel. That'd be great. Aside from that, I'm just looking at it like, what the hell am I looking at? It doesn't fly. No pun intended. And if you're talking the Empire with their god-awful four-legged walkers, it's not going to take more than maybe 2 minutes before somebody realizes, hey, aim for the viewing slit. I'm sorry, but a heat round, high explosive anti-tank round into the viewing slit is going to end the fucking crew, and it's either going to stop dead or it's going to fall the hell over. Either way, we win. So on that one, yeah. Again, it used to be fun. Star Wars used to be fun, but now it's dead. Speaking of Star Wars that's dead, in my notes here, I got that all the Star Wars series that were supposed to come out have been axed. Every single one that I could find in the past 2 days have been completely and totally removed. They're done. Completely done. And they even took away the live action Ahsoka. Thank you, God, because that lady sucked at her job. I don't know whether she just didn't follow up on the lessons or what, but it's impossible for me to think that that's Ahsoka. No. No. Ahsoka was one of the best characters they came up with, if not the best character they came up with, and they totally fucked it up by doing a live action of her when somebody would not act like her, even if she's 40 years old or 45 or 50 or however old that woman is. And here's the main thing. Okay, and I don't even blame her for this. I blame the costume design. When I watched the original the Clone series, I'm sure you guys have seen the Clone Wars. I was not keen about a young girl in a tube top and a miniskirt, but come to find out, again, that's her species. That's normal for her species. Actually, that's conservative for her species. Okay, fine. I'll deal with that. I wasn't too keen about her being 16, 17 years old in a backless dress, but again, her species, that's conservative. Covering her up in 6-7 layers like she's a fucking nun. I'm like, why don't you just give her one of those stupid face coverings and call it good? It doesn't fly. It's against the character, you dumbasses. So that's why I'm glad that's just gone. Ugh. God, they lose consistency, they lose their audience, and they've totally lost consistency. Why? Because of politics, and fuck politics. Speaking of politics destroying things, okay, we have to hold our heads and we have to have a moment of silence for another company that has died. It has been killed by the woke. Jaguar is dead. Even if I had the money, I will never buy any of their vehicles ever, ever, ever again. They are gone. Here's to you. You had a good run, but now you shot yourself in the ass, or something else went up your ass, but whatever. Jaguar is done. To hell with them. They go broke, they get woke, and now they're croaking. So it is what it is. All right. I'm still going down my notes, folks, and I see on my notes I have the cost of Thanksgiving. Be careful, guys, because it's the inflation's biting everybody right in the nuts, or somewhere around that area. And yeah, good luck on that one. Just all I can say is good luck on that. If you have to go conservative, go conservative. If anybody gives you shit, to hell with them. Then they should be doing the cooking. It's just If you can't get a bird, and but yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to give you the bird. But hey, go to Denny's and get something. Now, I will let you guys know this. As far as the Army is concerned, I don't know about the other branches, but in the Army, it's a huge deal with Thanksgiving. They have all the officers actually get in their dress uniform, and they're the ones who actually serve the lunch. And that is the one time their lunch is fucking awesome. Oh my God, roast beef and turkey and ham and all this stuff. I mean, fried chicken, even if you're into that. So many fixings, but the thing is, they're not going to be open for the next 4 days. So what you do, you eat until your stomach is stuck out past your friggin' belt, loosen your belt, eat some more. Then you go back with the to-go plates. I still remember going back to the barracks. I got my arms down as low as I can, and I got to-go plates all the way up to my chin, friggin' 2 layers deep. I'm holding them out. Like, oh geez. I hope I get there without spilling it. And yeah, it was but you know what? I ate like a fucking king for 3 or 4 days. I was not complaining. But it's those of you who watch documentaries, I'll let you know when you hear that they said no matter where your son is in the world for Thanksgiving, he gets a turkey dinner. Ever since that, it's been a huge fucking deal. Everywhere else around the world, they just call it a harvest festival. We just happen to give it a certain name. Is what it is, folks. And yeah. Okay, on to the next part of my notes here. I don't know if any of you wake up early enough to watch the morning garbage that's on there, but yeah, The View is dead. Yay, joy. They shot themselves in the ass, and I couldn't be happier because they're just annoying the piss out of us. Everything we would like to do, science fiction-wise. It doesn't matter if you like watching anime. It doesn't matter if you like an action movie. It doesn't matter. Those types of folks wanted to destroy everything we love. These are the type of people that went into anime with their activist voice actors. And once I saw what they were doing, I saw the proof of what they were doing. I was like, oh my God, my brain hurts. Seriously, even in an anime I don't even watch where you got the dragon maid. She's talking to her friend who comes in and she's like, oh, you got more on. It's supposed to be, yeah, I was tired of being harassed for being, having my tits out or whatever it was. It was a really goofy line. It's supposed to be a joke. And instead, the activists changed it to, yes, the patriarchy forced me to do this. I'm like, what? Just, what? Just let us have our escapism, people. Life is tough. We need something. It's either you give us our entertainment or you give us more to drink. And honestly, if I didn't have any soda left in the house, which I'm down to like 2 bottles, this would be a green glass and it wouldn't be birch beer. So anyway, on to the next one, folks. Next part of the subject is another series is crapping itself. Oh, I would say let's hold a moment of silence, but honestly, this one should have died a long time ago. The new Captain America. Oy, that looks so, how do I put this? British cigarette-ish? I guess you could call it that. It looks so dumb. I mean, it is so bad. You already had the Falcon. Let him be the fucking Falcon. He's not Steve Rogers. He has not had the superhero serum, okay? He doesn't have the same mental abilities as Steve Rogers did. He was his own character. Stop screwing this up. Did you do this for DEI points or something? Or ESG score or some sort of bullshit? No, stop fucking this up. The Falcon was a badass character. I like the character. I want to see more of that character. I didn't want to see a goddamn ripoff of Captain America. Okay, nobody likes ripoffs. Okay, at all. Okay, it's bad enough we get constantly played in this life. We don't need our escapism to be a bunch of bullshit. Okay, I mean, my suspension of disbelief can only go so far. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm sorry. It was kind of cool to see him like dive through an explosion, holding the shield and wrapping those mechanical wings around. But the mechanical wings are not made of vibranium, motherfucker. They're going to rip the fuck off with that kind of freaking force coming through. It didn't make sense. It don't. Oh, God, nope. It didn't pass the sniff test at all. Ooh, it stinks. The whole show stinks. It's terrible. It's just, what the? But I digress. Okay. All right. Now I want to go into something with the science fiction this has been going around. Now a lot of this is coming back down the pipe from an old movie. Everybody knows Ghost in the Shell. If you haven't, don't watch the live action. Go watch the anime. It is so much better. It is unbelievably better. But they're talking about the transhumanism, okay? Thanks to other things that sound similar, at least start it, and they don't exactly add the word humanism. A lot of people that have a bad taste in their mouth about it, no pun intended. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. The thing about the transhumanism is it wouldn't be as dystopic as people think. A lot of this is played up for drama's sake. And in all honesty, the idea of you using harmonics or gene therapy or something to make you younger, to fight disease, to regrow a limb if you lost one, that's transhumanism. Using a drug to fight off a disease or an infection that should have killed you is considered a form of transhumanism. These people want to sit there and say, oh, it's so horrible. So yeah, if you're sticking electrodes into your brain and trying to change the way you think, it's horrible. But seriously, just trying to become a better version of yourself is not bad. It's a lot of this shit is played up for drama because everybody saw Blade Runner and they keep trying to duplicate it. I'm sorry, but I couldn't fall into Blade Runner because I'm sitting there just scratching my head going, what am I watching? None of this makes sense. If everybody had already left the planet and all that's left of these fake people and fake animals and fake everything, why is there supposedly a real person or a few real people around? Why aren't they somewhere else? It didn't make sense. Did it pass the sniff test? Hold on. Nope, it didn't. Don't get me wrong. The acting was pretty good. But it just irks me when people don't realize we've already passed that stage. We've already started the transhumanism part. And I don't mean because of Skylink or whatever the hell Elon Musk is talking about. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about we already became cybernetic because we have people having subdermal. Sorry, folks. I don't know what's wrong with me today. But we got people have dermal and subdermal implants to deal with diseases that honestly they shouldn't have. But we have people getting stuff put in. Hell, a pacemaker. A pacemaker makes you transhuman because you're adding a synthetic to your system. That's just the way it is, folks. That's just, they love this drama shit, just like every single one of these god awful, I mean, they are just horrible videos on YouTube about how bad it is to not have to age and you can heal from any injury and you never get sick. Oh my God, how horrible is that? I'm like, seriously, that's horrible to you? What are you, a fan of fucking Twilight? What the hell is wrong with you? I mean, seriously, that in the Twilight movie, that woman or that girl has absolutely no issues at all. No issues, and yet boo-hoo is me. That's what happens with those because I'm sitting there, excuse me, that's where my mind goes watching these. Oh, it's so bad to be immortal. Well, usually what they do, again, for drama's sake, is saying only one person is. If only one person is, yeah, that's going to wear on your psyche. You have to go through a couple of different hoops, i.e. you have to move different places every about 10 years and peacefully say goodbye to folks and don't come back to that area for a century. It's just, it irritates me to absolutely no end, especially when I know they have technology to allow the general population to extend their lifespan to at least 1,000 years. And I'm not even joking. And no, it's not just one thing that makes you do that. It's a combination of about 4 to 5 different things. CRISPR and the frequency tech, those are on the top two, but there's more to that. One, you got to take exceptionally good care of yourself, physically. You can't just sit around and think, "Oh, I'm going to live forever," as I sit down on the couch and watch videos. No, you're going to end up like that fat ass vampire on Blade, where he's just sitting there, like literally this big blob of shit, just sitting there. He can't move. You wouldn't want to turn into that. That's no life. You definitely want to off yourself at that point. Not that I recommend that for anybody. No, absolutely not. It's no, never, no. So, my point on this whole thing is that a lot of these dramas, I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I can't watch them anymore. I can't, because I'm sitting there going, why in the ever-loving snot fuck would you even think that this would be a good idea? But they always screw it up in the third act in a lot of movies. The movie Chronicle was great until the third act. It was awesome until the third act. There was another one where three kids got psychic abilities. It was really good until about halfway or to the third act, and then it just spiraled down like crazy, because I'm sitting there like, dude, what in the hell? So, whatever. They give me an option of extending myself so I can actually learn more, so I can experience more. You bet your ass I'm getting a good look at it. Not to say I'm going to do it. Always be careful and always look at all the aspects. But, if we're still here, 50, 60, 70 years from now, and, I can make my meat suit a little nicer, maybe I'll be a little bulkier, rebuild the muscle and the cartilage and everything else I got destroyed. That'd be nice. That way I don't have to climb out of that bed in the morning. It sounds like Jiffy Pop around here as all my joints start cracking and popping and shit. Anyway. One last thing. This isn't in my notes. I don't know if you guys seen this. Okay. Supposedly somebody had wrote a program back in, I believe it was 2009, something like that. It was some sort of web bot, something or other. And it was supposed to try and use predictive algorithms to see what was going to happen. Now, since this is mostly science fiction on this channel, you guys might find this interesting. They predicted that there would be an alien invasion, actually, and two different alien groups fighting each other. And no, I'm not referencing the story I made before. That they will be fighting each other over this planet. And it would happen, I believe they said 39 days after a certain trigger point. A trigger has to happen for this to happen. I don't know if you guys heard about this. But the trigger for this was Trump being interviewed by Joe Rogan. One of which who had not even gotten to politics yet, and the other one whose podcast was literally him and a couple people setting up something in an office. And it was literally just a couple pieces or a couple of microphones and a recording device. And I'm just like, that's crazy. So just keep that in mind. Have some leftovers, have some extra water, and be ready to watch the light show in the sky. Hopefully they don't use, Operation Bluebeam and fake the whole thing. Because if it's fake, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be pissed. So anyway, let me go up here in the chat box here. And hopefully the chat will not disconnect on us like last time. It seems like it keeps disconnecting and reconnecting. So if it disconnects, I do apologize, guys, because I have absolutely no control over that. If last time it was because I actually showed that 3030, well, this time it's shut back there, so they can't actually see it. There's a case back there, but if they cut me off because of a freaking case, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to get a case of the I'm pissed off. Actually, I'm starting to wonder if the chat disconnecting is the reason. I'm watching my numbers. Actually, it's over here for me. Watching the numbers fluctuate. I don't know. Maybe it's from that cable over there in Sweden that got hacked. Or I shouldn't say hacked. Well, actually it did get hacked as in cut. So, okay. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. something is friggin' right. We got SS Demon with a $10 super sticker this time. And he's sitting there. He thinks I'm a hippo. Oh, dude, I'm not that fat. I don't think. I hope not. Man, I better go on a diet. As it's skidding across the area. Ah. I appreciate it, Demon. I very much appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody here tonight on the live stream. And let me run back up here. And thanks again, Mr. Succubus there. Just remember, anybody who has already dropped a full bill into the chat box within the past month is going to get their shout outs. Yes, I do have them written down. And we still have Chris, Guardian, and Sir are still on there. So even if they don't drop anything in the chats tonight, that's fine. You're still going to get your shout outs over the week. So again, let me get up here. Let's see. Alan's saying, here's a thought for you. A human ghost battalion, i.e. shifting the positions by diffraction. Ghost battalion. Diffraction, sorry. Okay, I'm going to have to reverbalize myself on diffraction, but yep, I got it written down. Brian's saying hi, and Doug's over here. Hey, Drill, how are you? Well, the drill's doing okay. The drill didn't get to shoot the goddamn deer this morning, I'll tell you that. Because now I didn't go out this morning. I missed the alarm. And it was cold this morning. If you don't know, deer do not like laying down when it's cold, especially when there's a layer of frost. They wait till it burns off and then they lay down. Usually they move around all night. But if it's a dark night, they can't see what they're going to eat. So they move around a little more, and it's a new moon coming up. Regardless, I'm sitting here and I see it out the window. I'm like, you sons of bitches, there's 5 does out there. You don't see them all grouped together this time of year. So, of course, I grab the rifle and I scurry out far enough so I can get a good shot up. Just as I leaned up on the edge of the tree, something spooked them and they friggin' booked it. And it wasn't me that spooked them because they ran. From my perspective, they should. If I spooked them, they would have gone this way. Something else spooked them. They turned around and went back the way they came. They don't usually do that. So, yeah, that's. I'm still a little ticked off at that. But I mean, it is what it is. People get skunked all the time. Anyway, Demons here says, I'm at work right now, but it's okay. And doing the easiest 12-hour shifts today. Oh, Jesus. And doing boiler fire watch duty, a.k.a. sit in an office and watch a computer screen for 12 hours. Oh, God damn. You're going to have some of the driest eyes ever. Alan says, friends, family, and work is important, and we understand. Okay. Yeah. Erica Jim, in-law jokes are the best. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Just like probably the first in-law joke I ever told, no joke, we were at a tractor pull where they said, okay, anybody want to bring their truck up here? And the guy came up and he had a homemade wooden crate in the back. And the guy was trying to joke. He's like, oh, yeah, he's supposed to take the weight out of the back of his pickup truck, but he says he can't find the key. I wonder what's in it. And I just screamed, it's his mother-in-law. And everybody kind of looked at me for a second, because I was a little kid at the time, and all of a sudden they just start dying laughing. For a second, I thought I was going to get jumped and get my ass kicked, but whatever. Erica says, my great-grandfather was a mechanic in World War II, and he landed on Normandy, almost died that day too, because one of the vehicles toppled over and took him with it. Oh, yeesh. Yeah, the sand there was one of the absolute worst types to be there too. I mean, it was just everything got caught. The only things that didn't actually get caught up was the half-track trucks. They were the only ones that could get through the sand. I can only wager because the width of the tracks were the same as the tanks, but they only weigh like a third. So, okay. Lena is here. Says every life-bearing world in the galaxy is technically a death world. Tropes are fine. Life, yes and no. Now, to be considered a death world, it has to be able to kill the dominant species. If the dominant species has no natural predators, it is not considered a death world. That's just the way the calculations go. Now, if the dominant species can be killed by, say, a lightning strike, it's a level 1. Okay. Even then, it can still be almost considered not a death world because that is such a rare occurrence. So it really depends on how you gauge each one. Let's see. War Sniper says, I'm still waiting on the isekai story of the healer with guns, where the prince blew his brains out with the healer's gun when the fox ladies royally, yeah. Okay. Oh, when are you using the fox ladies? Again, I'm not doing through the end of this month. I'm only sticking with one-time story or one-off stories. And before I get into this, I got to go down here and I have to wait a minute because Erica, once again, as she is being truly, truly outrageous, as I write her name down so I make sure, she sends a $5 super chat. And she says, thank you so much for everything. A group of Xenos miscalculated invasion landing and now have to deal with very angry ghosts at Gettysburg. Ooh. Well, I don't know if the ethereal will work. I'm just going to put down here Ghosts of Gettysburg. Now, the thing is, I'd have to be very careful because people have actually dealt with something like that and made really good stories. And guys, let me know if the chat disconnects on you also, because it's I keep getting messages on my screen here. Anyways, but they've done some really good ones on that where in one case it was a group of Marines landed on a Xenos planet, and it was more of shore leave type thing, and they start freaking out because we as humans could see their ghosts and they couldn't. It was out of their spectrum, but in ours. That's that would freak the shit out of me too. Anyways, I did a kind of a ghost story where they took the trenches, but the spirits wouldn't die. They were still there. And the Xenos could actually hear them moving around. A lot of people were like, oh yeah, that's where they put the like World War I, where they put the speakers in the ground and had the whispering and stuff like that. But I put that in the story that they actually dug through and they couldn't find anything. This should be a speaker here. There's not. So anyway, I will see what I can do on that one, Erica. I'm not sure if I can. That one would definitely be a challenge. Okay. Going back up here. Where was I? I don't know where I was. Oh, yes. The healer with the foxy ladies. When I'm done doing one-off stories, because I need to rebuild the channel a little bit, which is happening now. Thank you, guys. I will go into that again. The thing is, for a lot of people out there now, they just want one-offs. They don't care about series. Okay, series don't get all that many views because a lot of people want to just have the whole series either as one video, or they don't follow the series as much. On my own numbers, I've even looked. Usually the first episode of the series has, say, 1,000 views, and the next one only have like 800, and then it slowly ticks down after that. And it never comes back up to the one. Now, when I did They Call Us Monsters, I actually lost a lot of subscribers on that one. But yes, I will go back and do that one because you guys keep asking for it. However, like I said, it's got to get at least to the end of this month, maybe a little further of one-offs, and then I'm going to start throwing in. I'll probably do a week of one-offs, and then I'll do a week of, or finishing up the next group of chapters on like the isekai story. Okay. And yes, I will bring in the foxy ladies there, War Sniper. I know you're all about the foxy ladies. And I'm going to have to be careful doing the foxy ladies because now that is starting to hurt my neck. Okay. Let's see. Demon says, I wonder how many royalty would, or how many would do that before they learn not to play with the crazy. Oh yeah, he's saying how many would actually shoot themselves. It depends if they listened to somebody who said, "Whoa, be careful with that," or if somebody gave it to them and it was unloaded, and they heard the click. It's like, what was that? That was it now blowing your head off if this magazine was inside. Oh, what do you mean? Here, let me show you. Bang! See that? See that vase that just exploded? That would have been your head. Hey, good for the. Don't worry about the spelling. I figured it out. Let's see. Leonid. Oh, it must have been on the Star Wars thing. Klingon birds of prey against a Star Destroyer would be fun. Yes, it would. It would literally be hit and run, hit and run, hit and run, hit and run. The same tactic that the opposite side, that the rebels do against those guys, and it works. Yeah, it would work. Oh, War Sniper again, but I think the healer doesn't have enough bullets till they figure out how to not turn the barrel on themselves. Yep. That's why if you remember, the healer's like, whoa, that's dangerous. You don't know what you're talking about. Bang. It's like, let's see. Leonid says, there's some inside jokes in Star Wars. Planet Earth exists somewhere out there. Earth is waiting to kick your ass. SS Demon says, I feel like the Covenant from Halo could fight 40k ships, but they are way outnumbered and will definitely lose in the long. Yes, they would. It also depends on who's. Now, let me put this right. When I did the Galactic Empire being that it controlled everything, it did not have any other species or any other military to grab a hold of. However, if it went up against a separate universe, it would have multiple species to go against. In this case, with the Halo universe, if they're fighting the brutes, it would be a 1-for-1 exchange per ship, pretty much, because the Covenant ships would be able to shake off a lot of those turbo lasers just because the way in the books the shields operate. In the Halo universe, the shields actually operate the same way you would think the Trekkie Trek shields operate. In Star Wars, they don't actually do that. Do they have the ray shields? Yes, they do, but they're in the corridors so that they can stop massive depressurization. They are not external, because if the ray shields, yes, that's how they pronounce them over there, was actually external, you would see that bubble, because every time they activate the ray shields, you can actually see it on screen. It doesn't matter if it's a Star Wars or Clone Wars or the actual movies. You always see the ray shields. Now my tongue hurts. Thanks for making me do that. Anyways. But yeah, the brutes, according to the Halo books, are very, very aggressive, and because of that, they do stupid shit. They immediately drive in and do dumb things. The elites are much better pilots, much better captains, which is why when they crossed over and they said, "Shipmaster, we're outnumbered 3-1," then it's an even fight. He wasn't joking. He was actually telling the truth. And in all honesty, if you read the books and listen or read it close, you can actually find out that you could do a 5 versus 1 and the elite will still, that's about a 50% win on that in a 5-1. 4-1, the brutes would still probably lose. But if you added the human ships in there with their long-range mat guns, they'd still be enough. Most of them would be able to punch into, maybe not destroy, but they will be able to perforate a 40k ship. There's just not nearly enough of them to do that much damage. Now, if they mixed and matched the technology there, the human vessels would be absolutely horrifying. So, E.T.'s race in Oh, yes, E.T.'s race is in Star Wars. Absolutely, positively is there. You look in the background of the Senate ones, and you'll see him sitting there screaming like Chewie. Let's see. War Sniper says, I never have seen them destroy their own ship, me remembering the Resistance using their own ship as a warp ram, blasting itself into a superstar destroyer. Yep. They were actually the first ones to pioneer that, even though that's still an expensive piece of machinery. Compared to destroying an entire battleship, it is pennies. It's less than pennies. And when they did the hyperspace ram in the movie, first off, trying to make Admiral Purple Hair seem like a hero, you're not making that happen. She was a total quant and just she was worthless. She was a shitty character. The actor, even if she was a good actor, she didn't have a lot to work with. It was just, I swear she was put in there just to annoy people. And they succeeded. Just amazingly succeeded on that. So when she actually squished herself that way, I was sitting there going, yay, we don't have to deal with her. She's finally off screen. I didn't care that they took out half a fleet. Anyway, but yeah, that would work. I mean, kinetic energy is kinetic energy. Well, you know what they say, energy is energy. Leonid again says, Star Wars actually has problems during the prequel trilogy. Sequels just made it worse. Yep. The only time I've ever seen anyone scuttle their own ship was I believe it was Sky Slepper there before he turned to the dark side, and he actually would crash one of his ships into the enemy blockade and cause massive debris fields to open up, which screwed up everybody else on the other side and opened up for everybody else to come in and say, oh, they're all messed up. Let's go fuck them up. Blast them right in the face. Lena says, it would be funny if Elon Musk buys MSNBC. Yeah, he'd fire them all. He would just go in there. He'd do like they did on X, walk up and go, so what's your job? Oh, you don't have an answer? You're fired. Get out of here. You got 10 seconds to get out of here. Or security is going to bounce you out of here like a basketball. Oh, the sage is here. The sage. Yes, he says, greetings, mortals and other assorted beings. Hey, you don't have to worry about being late. You guys are here, and I appreciate it. Lena here says, I would watch the new Ghost in the Shell, but I'm allergic to 3D CGI. I'm not allergic to 3D CGI because I like the Godzilla versus Kong movie. I'm allergic to god-awful 3D CGI and a shit movie. Okay? It's just, when you're relying on the 3D and the CGI to actually make your movie compared to actually having actors that actually, and a story, an actual plot line, then I got an issue. Let's see. So Demon says, also, Sony is trying to buy up anime and manga companies, oh God help us, and convert them for modern audiences. Just leave the shit I love and still have alone, for God's sake. You forgot to capitalize God. I'm losing more and more as time goes by. Yeah, we're all losing more and more of it. And it's getting to the point where I don't even watch them once they've been translated. I'd rather sit there and read the son of a bitch when it's been translated to fucking English by someone else. I mean, even if it's a bad translation, at least if it's going directly through the algorithm so I can know what in the hell they're saying. I mean, seriously, if they took everything that Vegeta actually said, even though I don't give a shit about Dragon's Balls, I've seen the actual honest to God translation of what he said. My God, does that guy curse? He curses up a storm. He curses so much that even the guys down in Australia, the sailors from Australia, be like, oh, come on, Mike, you're really going over the top of that. You know, it's just, I mean, just crazy. But yeah, they got to just leave us the hell alone. You've got to leave us alone. Yeah, War Sniper comes in. So when we are gone, Sony kick Sony's ass. I say just leave and let them fail. Just let them go the way of Bud Light and just do a man-cot. Not a boycott where you come back in a year. No. A man-cot. Don't ever touch it again. I've actually had people try to bring Anheuser-Busch products into my house. I was like, you get that shit out of here. That does not come in my house. Just like Disney, it does not come in my house. My nieces tried to bring in a Disney blanket, and I had their mom take it away. I do not want that shit in my house. Well, why? Yeah, you really want to know the reason why? I'll tell you the reason why. You're not going to like it though, and you're going to become cynical just like me. So you really want me to explain it, or you just want to get the hell out of my house? Okay. Demon says, ever since Sony moved its headquarters to California, yep, that is the right way to spell it. It's been dying so hard. Yeah, their business practice is so fucked. And we have a $20 super chat from Brian Kemp because we had to hold up. We had to wait a minute while I read this sucker. And let me write this down so I can make sure that I get you a shout out. He says, Happy Thanksgiving. It's my Friday. I worked 19 of the past 21 days. Holy balls. It's time for a cold one. Thank you for your stories. You are quite welcome, Brian. And hey, enjoy your time off. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Enjoy, and all of you enjoy Thanksgiving. For the love of God, take some time. Eat a lot of chicken. Sorry, turkey. You know, at least it's not duck. You know, a turkey with snowshoes. And then have too much tryptophan. Eat so much that you end up in a coma on the couch. And that is the only time, I swear to God, that is the only time in any human history. And this goes for frat guys, this goes for military guys, this goes for everybody. That is the only time if somebody passes out on the couch while everybody else is partying, you are not authorized to draw on their face. If you are to draw on their face, that falls into assbaggery. And you know what they say, assbaggery deserves ball kickery. And I'll tell you what, guys, and as a side note on that, and by the way, Terrence Pop was the one who came up with that, assbaggery deserves ball kickery. I know somebody who watches that same show. Actually, his son also watches the same show. Long story short, he was dating a woman who pulled some bullshit on him, and it totally screwed him up. And he didn't aim low because there's nothing to hit. He aimed high, bonk on the side of those soy jugs she had. And I saw a picture. Yeah, she's had way too much soy her life. For somebody that short, those should not be that large. She's going to have some serious fucking back problems later. But yeah, she deserved that for what she pulled off. Now, hold on. Wait a minute. We got another $10 super chat from the Guardian Sage, where he also says, Happy Thanksgiving. Don't forget whom you are thankful to. According to the Bible, people used to live for over 800 years on the regular. That is true. Do you think they had access to advanced technology of regeneration? I believe that was just a natural consequence that was there. According to the Bible, that a certain someone, decided to shorten our lifespan because living that long was getting to be a bit much. I personally don't believe that. I think people should be able to choose when they want to punch out. That being said, if they commit an egregious crime and they deserve what they get, they deserve what they get. I personally think it's within our genome to do it. I think we should get back to it. I personally also think that when Tartaria and all those were actually up and running, they had the ability to allow this. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that that technology, when that was buried, and if you don't know about Tartaria, I suggest you guys look it up. It is very, 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 very interesting. It is actually beyond interesting. And there's receipts. There's not a lot because it was over there towards Russia. And as we all know, in that part of the world, they like to delete a lot of history. They like to omit it. And then after a few generations, people will not be able to pass it down. And then they just have a whole bunch of lies they agree on that becomes their history. However, if Putin decides to release everything about Tartaria, that would be very interesting. I would love to see that. And I personally think that they had the technology for that. And I think that people living that long ended up creating weapons that were unbelievably strong that made our nukes look like friggin' firecrackers. And I think they kind of blowed themselves up a little bit. But, there's so much. If it sounds like I'm going around in circles, that's because there's so much information on that. It's crazy. But do we think they have access to advanced technology? Yes, I do. I fully believe that, because they were working on that back in World War I. Actually, is when they started working on that, because they wanted to be able to heal people faster because they were losing. They tabled it for a little while, and then they brought it back in World War II when their budget got brought back up, and they never went away from it. You're telling me they haven't figured it out in like 110 years? Give me a fucking break. All right. Thanks again, Guardian, and everybody else. Let me swing back up here so I don't miss anything. And okay, kind of jumping a little bit here. Lena says, is alien contact going to happen in 2130s? I don't know. I'm just hoping I'm still around in 2130s. That'd be kind of cool. Like I said, if we get the regen technology, that'd be awesome. Let's see. Sage says, YouTube closed on me, and when I went to reopen it, it said it was updating. What the fuck? Okay, so I do have apologized for anybody who has to constantly reconnect on that, because that's bullshit. I don't know. You guys remember it did this to me last week. I don't know what the hell is going on. I finished all the updates on this computer. Nothing's out of date, so I don't understand. Let's see. Leonid says, there is an isekai about a hunter who dies from a bear attack, and he has an elf wife. He has a magic backpack that he uses to buy ammo from an American gun shop. Okay, it's not an anime yet, so I'm guessing it's a manga. And see, I don't get to read them. I really don't. I like the mangas, really. I like a lot of them. Some of them, I don't know. Sometimes it's the art style. If they make them look like children and it's supposed to be adults, I'm like, sorry, dude, I'm not into people that young. Okay, it's just, I don't care if you say they're in their 30s. If they look like they're not even in their teens, something's wrong here. I know every once in a while using the chibi form to kind of emphasize a point is different. But magic backpack that he buys stuff, that sounds very interesting. And if he's buying from an as we put it here, American gun shop, then he's got access to some pretty heavy shit. And they always have an elf waifu. Although I know somebody in the chat box who likes the cat or foxy waifus. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We got a bite me. Says, sorry I'm late. Just got home from work. Hey, no worries, man. No worries. I'm glad you're here. Leonid asks, do they have electrified hull plating? Since we just got down to this, I'm not sure if you're talking about Halo or you're talking about Star Wars or whoever. As far as electrified hull plating, I don't know of anybody who does. That's never been mentioned in any of the Halo stuff that I know of. All I know is that their hull is, for the size of most of their ships, is actually fairly thin. And they rely on their actual energy shields to protect them. In that universe, they somehow are able to deflect a certain level of kinetic energy. However, it can still, with enough, is just going to punch through like it's not even there, which is why the mat cannons in the game work so well. If you actually read the books, those mat cannons before they went offline were decimating, absolutely ripping the Covenant several different new assholes, literally skewering right through the ship, literally. How they put that with the Eiffel Tower, one on each side, there's a hole on both ends, but they meet. Okay, that just sounded really wrong. But yeah, as far as Star Wars, no, I've never heard anything about electrified hull plating. Let's see. Bite Me says, I know early next series Trek ships have polarized deck plating. Really? Okay, I don't know why. Usually polarizing is to either for stealth or to keep rust off, which is kind of weird. Demon says, I wonder if my comments are going through. You have skipped 3 of them now. Are you all seeing them? No way. Really? Yeah, War Sniper says it best on this. The stream is acting up, and I don't know why. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm not even seeing some of the super chats. which, by the way, if you send a super chat and I do not read it, it means I didn't see it. Okay. I am adamant about making sure I read all of them because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So I'm going to give you as many shout outs as I can. I already got shout outs to several people on my list right here. So, and I forgot to write that number down, by the way, but it is what it is on that. Sorry, I just heard something outside. Let's see. War Sniper. There's only loading. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the stream. We're not going to be on too much longer, guys. I'm going to run through these and we're going to call it because the stream's acting up really, really weird. And I hate to screw you guys over like that. Yeah, you guys are talking about the loading screen. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I didn't see anything about World War II beaches, BioWare, and MasterCard. What? Yeah, you're right. I didn't see those. Like I said, I'm going to run through these real quick and we're going to call it because the stream's acting up. And honestly, I don't want to be insulting to you guys. Again, you're the only reason I'm here. So, anyway, Leonid says, for a God, one day is like 1,000 years. I always thought that the Bible tells the story of Israel and does not speak of real people. There's a lot more going on there. Let's just say and I'm going to mispronounce this, by the way, the Nephilim there's more and more evidence suggesting that those are still about. The whole thing about one showing up in Kandahar, that's been disproven because apparently people who were in the know were actually there and they're just like, nah, nothing came through. And these are people that don't have a dog in the fight, but they were actually there. So it's hard for me to believe that one. However, there's becoming more and more video evidence and people disappearing because they actually put up said video evidence. And thankfully, people archive the shit out of just about everything. So it is what it is. But those are only mentioned in the good book. So we'll see what's going on there. The last thing I need is to try and blast one of these guys in the face with a friggin' sable round out of my shotgun. So I honestly, I don't want to turn this into a theological thing, guys. I don't want to go into that, but yeah. At least not too much. SS Demon says he normally skips one every stream, but not normally this week. Okay, yeah, he's talking about the stream being weird. Yeah, War Sniper. Yeah, I didn't know refreshing wouldn't work. That's weird. I had an issue with somebody else's stream, but that was on he runs like multiple streams at the same time. He did YouTube, Rumble, what's the other one? Well, there was MGTOW.tv. We're trying to remember the other one. There was another one he was doing on that. And they were having all sorts of problems. I don't know what it is with the streaming services now. Something is wrong. I think some hacker got in and he's just kind of finger fucking everything. We'll see what's going on. Hopefully they don't do it too much. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. It might be a local problem. Not loading anymore. Okay, so it kind of went out. Well, Eric is saying my electronics got screwy after I talked about Tartaria. Yeah, there's sorry, I almost knocked over my drink. Yeah, there's a lot going on there, and honestly, there's so much stuff that has been omitted from our histories that is just absolutely staggering, absolutely freaking staggering, and it just blows my goddamn mind. One guy, every once in a while, I'll see some of the vids with him, and he actually ends with, just remember, history is a bunch of lies agreed upon. Question everything. And the thing is, that's nail head. He hit it. I mean, just perfect. Let's see. Guardian Sage back on the, whoa, shit. Sorry. Just dropped something. He says, who doesn't like feline, canine, vulpine, and elfin waifus? Now, speaking of canine, I have to say this because a bunch of us, and this was a couple years ago, what was it? Some sort of demon lord, Diablo, whatever the hell his name was supposed to be. The guy walking around with a little stick with a jewel on it. And he's supposed to be a demon lord from another world or some such crap. He was sucked into a video game, basically. And we're sitting there watching. I've already seen this. Of course, we're all pretty drunk. And he gets to the point where the guy has got to go in and register, where there's a bunch of canine girls working there, basically with tube tops on, with like triple E's. And they show up, and it's obvious they're dogs. And I remember having my beer and go, oh, check out those puppies. And no, everyone just kind of looked at me, looked back, and I kid you not, one guy went to go drink his beer, he shot out his nose. He realized what I was talking about. It's like, oh my God. Oh, you just got to know what to do on that one. Gee, I wonder what position the canines would like so much. Anyways, let's see. Demon says, oh, dude, don't say you're fat. My fat ass would not do so well on the beach. I'm not a bad shot, but I'm slow and big. 5'10", 289, but I'd still go if I was needed. Yeah. Trust me, nothing moves you faster than having a bullet whip past your head. I think I actually broke a new land speed record when I got shot at least the first time I was shot at. The second time I ducked because my own guys decided to fire some mortar rounds in our direction. I was pulling stuff out of my back for a week. Just like, Spike, there's another one. Son of a bitch. Where's, hold on. Fuck. Brian Kemp saying, did you get a deer? No, I didn't. I was, you weren't here for when I told everybody, but this morning I saw a group of 5 does out back, and I ran out to try and get a shot. They saw me standing there, and they're looking right at me. And just as I pulled that sucker up, I braced against the tree, and something off to my left just spooked them, because usually if they want to run, they just keep going the direction they're going. Something spooked them. They ran back the other way. I have no idea what spooked them. If I had to guess, it was the goddamn chickens. Because every once in a while, one of them will peck at one, and then they'll fly up and make a racket. Pains in the ass. I mean, I like eggs and all, but man, these chickens suck. But unfortunately, no, I didn't get to fill my freezer. And one was just sitting there broadside, right in the open. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a beautiful shot. I'm going to put the crosshairs right there, right there. Nope, didn't even get a shot. Pissed me off. Anyway, Bite Me saying, Guardian Sage, animal girls are always welcome. Got a thing for the tail, huh? I'm a little partial to tieflings myself. Anyway, Demon says, just reposted, wonder if they show up now. I don't know. Lena said, I watched season 2 of Gun Gale Online. It was awesome. I'm going to have to take your word for it. I have no idea what that is. I am so far behind, and I have got no chance to watch it. Not to mention, the only time I get to watch anything is I'll see it on YouTube. The problem is it's all reviews. It's all basically they watch the episode, but overlaying the episode that I can't hear and I can barely read is some asshole or a group of assholes commenting over it. I'm like, I'm not your friend. I'm not your buddy. The reaction videos is what it was. I don't want to hear these people. I just want to watch the goddamn show. But if they just posted the damn show, it gets taken off of YouTube within like a couple of hours. So you have to catch it when it first comes out, or you don't get to see it at all, which I think is bullshit. Okay. That's just bullshit. They should just have the ability to post it on YouTube. They're paying for, or you're already paying a subscription. Plus they got the commercials. They're going to make money off it. Now, before I go any further, I have to say that there is a $10 super chat. So I have to stop and I got to wait a minute as I read this from SS Demon, as I put in my notes here, ×2. He says, Visa and MasterCard are actively going after Japanese anime manga, really, and game companies, and demanding they censor their products or they remove their ability to use those services, aka no card payments. That is fucking nuts. But you know what? It's not beyond the realm of possibilities, because just like what was it, Rothschild said when he finally created the Federal Reserve, which by the way is a private bank, he said, "I if I control a country's money, I care not who makes its laws," which is true. And this is exactly, Demon. This is what I'm saying. It's just, ugh. And why would they censor? This is supposed to be the land of the free, where we got the First Amendment and we got the Second Amendment to back it the fuck up. But the thing is, a lot of these, the Visa, the MasterCard, and all the rest of them are offshore companies. They're not here in the US. And this is one of those things where it'd be nice if a certain group of individuals who are going to be in office very, very shortly would do something about this. But I don't know if they can, because this is a private interaction between certain companies. That being said, he could go straight to the Japanese and say, okay, why don't you just air it on American television? Make some money that way. Just make sure you have the subtitles in it. But yeah, them trying to force everything like that, that's extortion, basically. Or blackmail, whichever way you want to put it. Actually, more like blackmail. Okay. Going back up here, War Sniper says, Sin, did you like I know and was correct about scenario of Operation Overlord with a video of the simulation? Oh yeah, I saw that where you went in and edited it. Yeah, I saw that. Guardian Sage says the Nephilim were the children of the angels who slept with human women and were known as the heroes of old. Yes, that's where they got Hercules from. At least that's where I'm thinking. Because Hercules was supposed to be a lot bigger than the average guy and a hell of a lot stronger. So, but they didn't always produce a human offspring. They produced also mixed results. Think of, they call us monsters, and you get the basic idea. And no, I didn't come up with it based on that. But yeah, let's face it. You look at human women, you know, what can you say? We were dancing and I got horny, you know. Anyway, but yeah, the I've heard it actually pronounced like 10 different ways. I've heard Nephilim, Nephilim, or I can't even do half of my tongue doesn't bend that way. Well, unless I have a girlfriend. Anyways, Demon says, and he's laughing. He says, "Oops, I forgot to fix that." That comment says, "Don't worry about it." Leon says, "I like moth girls." So you like the flappy wings, huh? What if they're lethal? Wouldn't that make them killer moth girls? A little DC humor there, or DC comic humor. Let's see. War Sniper says, "I would use you as a meat shield with all that meat. I know for sure I will survive with the fat. I will hold it back." Oh, jeez, that's kind of mean, War Sniper. That is mean. That being said, it's not like it didn't actually happen. There is actually at least one account where somebody said, "Fuck it," dropped their weapon, grabbed the body next to him, held it up, and just ran straight through the fire. And everybody just looked at him like he was insane. But he got to the beach, or he got to the seawall, so that was important. I don't know if the dude survived it. I just know that a lot of people were like, "Ew, that's disgusting." Let's see. Down here it says, Demon, I think you will get it now. Oh, shit. Bite Me says, "Oh, hell no. That pisses me the fuck off." Anyway, you guys are messed up. But you're great. You're awesome. I love you. Anyways, Lenin says, "I'm waiting for the new villainous isekai to show up in December of next year." You know what? There's a lot of those. I think one of them was really big, and everybody's just jumping on the bandwagon on that one, where somebody isekais as the villainous. There was the first one that came out where she's kind of got the scar on her forehead. That was, I guess, a big hit. I didn't get to see much of it. I think I saw like 2 episodes of the whole thing. which was right in the beginning, but I kind of lost interest. Now the thing is, I got a scar right here. Maybe either I was blocked or something. I should have recounted my past lives on that one. Of course, then I'd be speaking like 20 different languages. Why the hell not? Brian said, uh-oh. Household 6 is calling me. Have to run. Night, everybody. If you don't know the idea of household 6, 6 is always the number used for the commander, at least here on this side of the pond. A lot of other places say 1. The Navy still uses 1, as in I'm the number 1. They have this very arrogant way of doing things. But in the Army, they go, oh, hey, sir, household 6 is calling you. So, hi, honey. SS Steven said, BioWare killed Dragon Age. Really? Rest in peace. I fully expect them to ruin Mass Effect. Well, Mass Effect, from what I understand, I didn't get a chance. Well, I shouldn't say I didn't get a chance, but I never played it. As well, considering the team that just made the new trash Woke Age, oh God, is now in charge of the new Mass Effect. Oh my God, really? They're gonna screw that up so bad. Oh man, they're a bunch of activists. And what's worse is they get in charge. They literally have their balls held in the vice grip of a incorporated company that is something to do with babies that are sweet. I think if you say that backwards, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And everything they touch is done. Everything they touch goes on that list of what they've dealt with, and all of those just get canceled. And rightfully so. They should get canceled. They suck. But yeah, if the same folks that did this new Dragon Age, oh God, if they, yeah, I just saw the reviews and I'm just like, I am glad I'm not a gamer anymore. If this is the type of stuff that's coming out, oh sheesh. Bite Me says Hercules was a demigod, so yes, the concept of Nephilim fixed. Yep, that's kind of the way my mind works. Is I take all this separate shit and I'm able to put it together and see like a puzzle piece, see how it works. Honestly, that's why a lot of people said instead of infantry, I should have been in code breaking, or trying to decipher bits of what they were getting, because I could put it all together. But it is what it is. Joyce is here. Says, so I borrowed my mom's. Oh, she lost. You lost your phone, so borrowed my mom's, who's in for Thanksgiving. Well, happy Thanksgiving. Bite Me comes in. So I'd be so screwed if I lost my phone. Yeah, I'd be not screwed. I'd be pissed. Shelter says, by the way, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Well, happy Thanksgiving to you, Joyce, and to everybody else. Here's a drink for you. She's also saying that she's lost her mind too, but she'll find it. Oh, Deathbed's here. Go, zoinks! Late. Have to listen. Upload tomorrow at work night. Oh shit. Oh shit. This is jumping all over for me. Bite Me saying, I don't care what your benefits are. Don't piss off your fans. They pay your salary. If you call it a salary. But yes, you're right. I wouldn't ever want to piss off my fans. You guys let me know if I do something wrong. By all means, throw it in the comments section, because I check that son of a bitch at least twice a day. I might not be that up on the emails, but I do check my comment section, because usually it's one of the first things I do in the morning while I'm having my morning coffee. Let's see. Elena says, anime has been diverse long before the woke activists looked into it. Yeah, but it wasn't diverse their way. They have to have everything their way. And if it's not their way, they're pissed because they don't have it their way. And you know what I say? Fuck you. Ugh. I mean, it's bad enough that because of certain activists that were in a school, next time I have to go for the Veterans Day thing, I'm gonna pull out this prepared statement I have. I'm not allowed to talk about the ballistics and the math that's required to understand the ballistics, from the starting ballistics all the way to terminal ballistics, and how it's calculated every single time I pull the trigger, because apparently I can't talk about firearms. I can't talk to you about the differences in anatomy when a bullet strikes the body, even though that's required for me to save my buddy's life because, I can't talk about firearms. And apparently that's too gruesome. And believe me, I'm going to have that all played out. And I'm already looking forward to it just to piss somebody off, namely a certain teacher. Well, no, let me phrase it right. Certain teachers, plural. Anyway, Demon says the original creators of Dragon Age have all left the company. Oh, there it goes. You know what? They were probably forced out. I wouldn't doubt it. And New Guys gave us like 20 minutes of dialogue about non-binary trans. Good God. And retcons so much of the lore, it makes no sense anymore. It's no longer. Where are you? There is so much more. I can't even type it all up. Ugh. Yeah, it's just no on so many levels. Just what the fuck? Just what? Why? Hold on. Let me stop. I'm going to put my mind in the way of one of these activists, and I'm going to think about this logically. Ow, son of a bitch. Okay, I'm going to come back to that later. Then again, to actually think that way, I'm sorry, my head does not actually go up that way. I'm sorry, no, not going to happen. Worst number here. I like foxy ladies, especially the white hair. Sign of purity might be something you're looking into. Joyce, dude, it's me, Chris. Well, yeah, I kind of figured with the last one. I just kind of read it the way it was. And don't forget, you're still on for this week, so you're good, Chris. Anyway, let's see. Worst number says, with 9 fluffy snow white tails. Why does it seem like you're doing a League of Legends here? Didn't she have 9 white tails? Kind of all poofed out, all wide, and that's where she like put her power before she shot it in your face, across your chest, and all over your face, back, neck, and thighs, and all that stuff. Alan says, if there's a missing person, if there is a missing person, info is the next to fill the slot. Okay, either I'm missing this wrong or you mistyped it, Alan, because yeah, I don't know what the put the bottle down, man. Anyway, Demon says there's so much more. I can't. Oh yeah, I just read that. Lena says there's a YouTube video with Dragon Age characters lecturing people about their God, it's a fucking video game, people. Why? Just why? I mean, I know the last one was all about everybody screwing each other, but come on. I mean, I was driving and I listened to a Timcast one on that, and come to find out the only reason everybody could screw everybody is because there was a glitch in the program that they didn't have time to fix. So they literally just put everybody as person, which means any person can screw any person. And it didn't matter how that went. And I'm just like, my brain hurts. Ugh. But, and by the way, I think it was Dragon Age where one guy turned into a bear. I'm sorry. I couldn't even bear the thought of that crap. And everybody wanted to put the cutscene into their video. I'm like, no, I don't want to see any of this. This is disturbing. Like beyond disturbing. Ugh. Bite Me yelling over the demon says, yeah, I'm so done with Arcane due to the and the wanker crap being forced down my throat, pun intended. Well, I don't think the lesbos will be able to. Well, no, considering what they usually have that's dishwasher safe in their purse, yeah, they could shove something down your throat. As realized where my brain was operating at that time. Demon says, oh yeah, the characters are extremely masculine. Good luck making a feminine character. Yeah, they're not allowed to. The only feminine characters are actually literally coming straight out of Japan. And It's just, it is crazy. It is absolutely freaking nuts. And all I could think of is the old Dead or Alive video game. They actually made a big deal because there was a little bit of jiggle physics in there. It wasn't even good for jiggle physics, but the jiggle physics was there. We used to joke all the time. It says, God's greatest idea, the jiggle factor. Because seriously, as soon as you see just a little bit of jiggle, all guys were locked into target. And then, of course, we see those two with the jiggle factor, and we want to turn into Skywalker into a trench run right up the middle. So anyway, War Sniper saying that Fox character lady. Whoo. Demon saying, oh, Baldur's Gate was the bear thing. Okay. They oh my God. People have actually sent me stuff about Baldur's Gate now, and they're like, dude, you're gonna find this hilarious because they know I have a really twisted sense of humor. And I always end up only watching maybe 10 seconds before I was like, dude, you need help. Whoever made this needs help. Because I'm just looking at this like, no, that they weren't designed that way. I don't know why. And these two characters hated each other. What the hell are you doing? This doesn't work. War Sniper saying, my pronoun is gun. Now, I'm just waiting till I'm in a school and somebody says, you have to address me as my pronouns. Okay, I will do that if you address me correctly by my pronouns. Are you willing to do that, or are you just a hypocritical bitch? And just to be like, well, I'm not a hypocrite. Good. Then you will now pronounce or go by my official pronouns. You will now get down on your knees, place your forehead on the ground with your hands out in front of you, and you will address me as your exalted majesty. And when they refuse to do that, see, you won't address me as my pronoun, so I'm not doing that to you either. So piss off. Yeah, Chris sitting there, I identify as an attack helicopter. Yep. Must got some big guns. Speaking of which, I gotta get my ass back in the gym. I'm barely holding on to my size as is. Lena says Jaguar thinks young people will buy their cars, but only rich people have that kind of money. That's true. Rich people that apparently, if they're part of Hollywood, are already part of that community that go, yeah. And they don't seem to care. It's just, ugh. I still don't know what the hell they were thinking. They didn't even show a car in the commercial. It's a car commercial. And there's no car inside. My brain hurts again. Bite Me says, trench run? This activate heat and moisture seeking missile. It's activate the heat and moisture seeking missile. More like a torpedo because it penetrates deep before the explosion. Come on, guys. You guys know I do that one all the time. There's always the joke about the torpedo that hits the enemy ship, penetrates as deep as it can before it blows its entire combat load, scrambling the guts and breaking her back. And it's just like, that that wrote itself, people. It just wrote itself. War Sniper, I identify as a B-2 stealth bomber because I'm an introvert, and when you detect me, it's too late. See, War Sniper, you're like me. I actually scared the living crap out of my commander once because it was my turn. He saw me on the other side of the sand table, and by the time it was my time to talk, I'm literally right behind his shoulder. He's, hey, where's the sergeant? Right here, sir. Oh, jeez, how'd you do that? I just walked forward and go, I'm very, very sneaky, sir. I grabbed the stick and walked forward. And of course, everyone's laughing. And of course, then some guy's like, no, we scouts are very, very sneaky. And it's like, really? Is that why I walked up to you last night and kicked you awake? Well, you didn't find me last night. Who do you think Z'd out your radio? That was you, you son of a bitch. I get tired of their bullshit. Let's see. Demon says he will see one of these. Chris is saying, if you buy a Jag, you need to buy two. One to drive, and the other one to use for parts to fix the one to keep it driving. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. It's just one of those deals. And honestly, I don't know. I remember the old Jaguars. They were actually really nice to look at. You know, everybody liked seeing the hood ornament there with the cat all forward. You know, no tails or sniper, but it was still interesting to see. And it was really something. I mean, it was a really good car. I mean, you hit the gas pedal, you're almost in the back seat. The thing had so much power and it sat so low. It was basically like driving a Corvette with a friggin' rocket in it. But oh, is it still cutting out? Oh, son of copy and paste till it loads. Okay. I thought that was Ford. What that you? That you do. Well, Ford used to be really good. I don't know what the fuck happened. They were really good until like the mid '90s, and then their quality just started to spiral, especially with their cars. Their cars just, they were just the emphasis of meh. And their trucks were really good for a while, but now it's almost impossible to find a truck that isn't 4 doors. I don't need 4 doors in my fucking truck. I need 2 doors with a bench seat and a big ass bed in the back. That's what I need. I don't need a tiny little short bed with 4 fucking doors. If I wanted that, I'd go get a crappy El Camino. You know, it's just, I mean, I saw somebody selling an old Ford on the side of the road for like $5,000. I'm like, geez, you can sell them for that much? This thing is old. It's a 92. It's a nice truck. I stopped and looked. It looked like the guy took decent care of it. It's got some rust damage, but we are here in the Northeast. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks that you can't actually get a actual truck anymore. I don't care about the bells and whistles. I need it to do fucking work. The truck I had here is freaking toast. And it was my dad's old truck. That was a Chevy, by the way, built like a rock. Now it moves like a rock because it hasn't moved in a year. Lena says, I thought Ford wants people to buy large trucks. They do, but there's a whole nother thing. If you look into, I call him the chubby Sparky. It's the fat electrician. He does a whole thing about cash for clunkers, and he goes over that why American trucks are so goddamn huge when they don't need to be. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff to go along with that. He does a much better job explaining than I ever could. So, Bite Me is talking to Chris. He says, Lucas Electronics was called the Prince of Darkness. Was the headlights on Jaguars just cut out while driving? Oh, really? I never heard about that. That's good to know. Sage says you also need a bed that you won't put a hole in for the first time you throw something in the bed. That's also true. However, buying a new bed is only a couple $100 still. So, I mean, as long as you install it yourself, getting it installed for you now, that's expensive. It costs more to do that than it costs for the fucking bed. See, Joyce says, I found a 67 Chevy short bed for sale with a new engine and transmission for $8K. I'm having a hard time not buying it. Now, if I had $8K, I would have bought that Ford today. I know it was a Ford, but back then, Ford F-150s were the shit. You couldn't kill the damn things unless you literally rolled it down a gravelly hill, literally sideways, rolled it down while on fire, then maybe you could kill it. The only other vehicle that was even close to having an engine that could keep up with that was the Toyota Hilux. Still considered one of the best, it had one of the best engines out there. And the way the compartment was, it kept the engine from being crushed. So, yeah, that they made a name for themselves, just like the Ford F-150 used to be, again, the shit. Now I look at them and go, what is this piece of shit? Goes 0 to 60 in what, 3 days? Oof. Anyways, looks like we're running down towards the end here. So, anyways, now I will just say this. When it comes to the vehicles, it's a shame we don't have more of a used car market, because then we wouldn't have this many goddamn problems. And you know what they say, whenever the government involves something, it falls down under certain phrases. Do what government officials do. Make something simple and complicate the hell out of it. Or take something good and screw it up. Or the old phrase that you got to worry about, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Ugh. Okay, War Sniper jumped in. Whoa, hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. We got something that is just right. Demon jumps in and he says, in character creation, you can give men a large bulge in the pants, but you can't give women boobs or butt. But you can give them surgery scars and having their boobs cut off. That's Dragon Age. What the fuck? You've got to be kidding me on this. That's how bad it's gotten, that they all have to be ambiguous friggin' surgery junkies. Holy wow. Wow. Just wow. I mean, what are these folks now? Just the kids of movie stars now, where they're all cut up and maimed and shit? What the what my brain hurts. Okay. Wow, that is just absolutely positively insane. Wow, Demon. I wish you were joking, but I have a feeling you're not. This is insane. This is completely nuts. I mean, this is one of the reasons. Again, I'm glad I'm not a gamer anymore. Because what's next? You're going to go and try to play World of Warships, and every warship has to be, have its guns chopped off or something, just to show that it's a trans ship. Or every time it goes to pilot straight, the back end sachets or something like that. What the fuck is going on? Or better yet, all the ships are pink now. Oh. Okay. It's just, they just got to leave our stuff alone. What the flying nuts? Okay. I will say this though, since I hit World of Tanks, I think it's War Thunder, where you can actually have the bombers and stuff like this. If I was a gamer, I know what I would be doing. Any of these open maps where you could actually get a bomber, I'd actually get a stick and a throttle and everything else. I'd actually get that boat to go up, circle around so I'm up higher. Then I'd call in over the radio. Bombardier to ground crew, lays targets for incoming bombs. And when they get it, Roger, coming in, check east, Angels 2, Bombay doors open, stand clear, danger, close fire mission. Line it up and just sit there, bombs away, drop the bombs and immediately check out. But once you're up high enough, their fighters can't climb high enough to touch you. I know a lot of the game mechanics allow the bullets to basically keep going for fucking ever, but you're up far enough away, the bullets will scatter. Parallax error is actually a thing. So anyway, that's what I'd be doing. And I seen a group of guys actually do that and actually make the other team rage quit. That was funny. So anyway, let's see. Lena says, I was watching anime with Turbo Granny and aliens in one episode. It was crazy. I'm not sure I want to see that. It sounds like something you would see on The Hub. Okay, Bite Me says, I had a friend who drove a 62 Ford F-150. It ran with no water in it, failed brakes, and just kept going. Yeah, they used to make those motherfuckers quality. You couldn't kill it. You could try, you would fail. Demon says, Super Chat's the only way I can chat, apparently. Yeah, when I get to the bottom of this, we're going to end the chat because it's getting, I mean, seriously, I don't know what the hell's wrong with it. I appreciate you guys being here. I really do. It's kind of weird. Yep. Even worse, never I'm seeing this. He says, that would be weird. Demon also says, men are allowed, but pretty women are not. Or women that look like men are allowed, I'm sure. Just, which is kind of weird. I even sent this in to a friend of mine when he was doing his podcast. You have men going through surgery to look like ugly women. Then you have women going into surgery thinking they're going to look better, but they turn out looking like ugly women. Then you have the women who put on so much goddamn makeup that they were pretty and now they look like ugly women. What the fuck is going on? I don't get it. It's just whatever happened to just being we all know we prefer a natural beauty, one that is just good looking and takes care of herself and stuff like that. I will say this. If I was another 10 years younger at the time, I would have walked up to this woman, pulled out one of my business cards and slid it across the table and said, call me. Because she was sitting by herself. It was Sunday morning. She looked like she just got out of church with a nice dress. She didn't have much makeup on at all that I could see. When I walked past her, she didn't stink of any of this perfume. She was just made up well. She held herself up. And I'm just like, yes. But apparently you can't have that in a goddamn video game. It's hard enough to find it in real life, and your escapism is supposed to have it. What the flying fuck knuckles is going on? Alan says, I think the word you're looking for is androgynous. Yes, you're right. That was the word I was looking for. And androgyny is just, there's no, God damn it, my brain just fell out my ears. There's no dimorphism between the male and female. They're just kind of there. So if you ever looked at a chick and go, is that a guy? Or looked at a guy and go, are they a chick? It's like, there you go. Anyway, Chris is here going, dude, how funny would it be if the ultimate ambush predator in the galaxy is bright pink because other species can't see that color spectrum? Wow, that would be funny. I'm not putting that in there, but that would be funny if you're talking about his ship, especially when it comes out of that stealth field that he has. I'm just like, boo, motherfucker. Boo. Wait a minute. I just realized something. His ship is long and almost cylindrical. So if it was solid pink, seriously, guy, that would write a joke of its own. I mean, seriously. Wow. Yeah, just like when I originally designed in the BattleTech series, the actual like BattleTech story I created, the actual main ship they had it looked like a pyramid with basically a skyscraper attached to the bottom, but turned sideways. So it's actually facing you. The actual point is towards you. But when it fired its main gun, the front actually opens up. The reason it closes is to protect it because it's a giant PPC. But when he goes to open it up and he goes to fire it, the admiral literally says, suck my dick, and he fires it. And if you look at it from the side, it's a giant metal dick. I'm just anyway. But yeah, ambush predator. I'm sorry. As much as I hint about the folks in that one not really caring about clothes, I think the guy going around in a giant pink suppository would not be a smart idea. Let's see. Guardian says, World of Warships will give you a gay pride paint skin for camo. Now, if I was better at video editing, I would actually make this video and put it on my other channel. There's 2 videos combined. First one will be that beautiful video of the horses, the mounted police, as they're going up on the British cigarette flag. And the horses are like, nope, 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 nope. And I mean, you can see this guy. He's spurring the damn horse. Horse ain't going. He's like, nope, nope, don't want. And both horses are just freaking the hell out. They don't want anything to do with it. And just they get by, I wanted to show the part from Ace Ventura where he picks up the dog and goes, so animals can sense evil. And if anybody wants to make that video, for the love of God, do it. The only reason I don't do that is because the Ace Ventura one, I checked, and that's a copyright strike. I would be so screwed. Let's see. War Sniper says, I've seen a full team of A10s. That was fun. Yeah, I've seen them do that too. I didn't get to see the video, but I saw it on the thumbnail, which makes me wonder exactly what they're going to. Now, I will say this. It's a lot better to watch those when you have people who actually know what in the fuck they're doing, and they're just not a bunch of guys going, hey, let's go and do this. and then you actually see them line up in like perfect formation. The only one I've seen with the A-10s is they had, 4, because from the top, it looked like a giant, from the bottom, it looked like a giant check mark coming through the sky. And they all literally dropped down at the same time and just right across. And there's these 4 perfect lines going right through the enemy's area. I don't know how many they actually got, but I'm sure it scared the shit out of them. Even if it didn't, it's like, oh shit, they shot in front of me. Wait, oh shit, they shot behind me too. What the fuck? And the thing is, they actually went a 90-degree and gun run, and they almost hit their own team. That was really cool to see. But those were actual pilots. And you could tell actually from the way they talked. Let's see. And yeah, that Angel 20 or Angel 2 track west, that literally is altitude 2,000 feet coming from the west. That's actual pilot speak. I picked that up from a buddy of mine. Willington says, I would ship the T-72B and an M1A1 tank together. Okay. Let's see. War Sniper says, IGN Shinano will be in World of Warships in 42 minutes, staying awake till 03, purely for her. Oh, yeah. Eric is saying, Pink Pony in, anyone? Oh, God damn. You win, Erica. You win. I didn't even think about that one. Especially if you had, you know what? I can't. I'm going to try and say this, but I'm trying not to laugh at the same time. What would happen if you had one of the ambush predators who was also part horse and they had that type of ship? I'm going to let your brain go for a second. Anyways. Let's see. Lena says Enterprise B had stealth field device just like the Klingons. I'll take your word for it because I don't remember that one. Let's see. Demon says the AI thing I told you about, I'm still working on. Just life happened and my free time plummeted and I haven't been able to work on it. You'll get it one day. And also, happy Thanksgiving. And everybody, I almost forgot. Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you. And it's no worries. I'd rather have quality. By the way, your drone fleet, or I should say the drone fleet that was sent to me, that's probably going to be a multiple video, the way it's going to be set up. So that's going to have to wait until after I finish the one-offs before I can jump into that one, because I was going through the whole thing. Demon saying, God, I can't type today. Not able. Oh, shoot. Yeah, especially if you're on a small screen. Alan says, I know it's a trope, but how about a caltrop drop on ground forces? Caltrop, why am I'm missing something here? Caltrop. Okay, I'll look that one up. Anyway, let's see. Demon says, take your time with it. I don't mind. See, War Sniper, tomorrow, the 29th of November, tomorrow's the 28th, is the day the IGN Shinano sun. Oh, wait, other side of the planet. So they're actually ahead in time. Or are you talking to? Okay. Yep. I'm sorry. I messed up my numbers on that one. Let's see. Chris saying drone fleet. Was that the short story I sent about the? Nope. It was a different one. It was one that was sent. It's like 10 pages long. Yeah, there's a lot of detail. Most of it's just technical stuff. But I have to actually reprint it because my dumbass actually spilled some coffee. Let's see. Lena says, what, like ASMR? Because the moth wife you likes the light from your lamp. Oh, geez. Demon says, yeah, it was a big fight. Don't apologize for that. I'd rather have a whole lot more actual details that I can work with. Anyway, guys, I have touched the bottom again. So, barring somebody else jumping in, I'm going to give you guys the safety brief and we're going to be calling it for the night. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and swim. If your buddy wants to drink and drive, beat his ass. Actually, kick him right in the nuts and watch him throw up on the ground. Just don't get it on your shoes. That sucks. Make sure if your little soldier goes in the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. Very important because it gets wet in there. It's definitely wet in the bush. Anyways, yes, I know, guys, it's an old pun. It's a bad pun, but you know what? I hope you enjoyed it. Also, stay away from the bad stuff. Also, there's going to be a lot of people driving for Thanksgiving, especially over here in the USA. So be careful on the roads, folks, because not only going to Thanksgiving, but coming back from the roads are going to be very, very, very crowded. And for the next weekend, people are going to be drinking a whole hell of a lot because you got to flush down all that turkey. So, okay. Before I go, let's see. Guardian says, remember to abide by the transtemporal accords when dealing with alien worlds. Oh, fun. Yeah, don't time travel and blow them up. Anyway, okay. All in all, guys, just remember, take care of yourselves. I want to see you all back here next week on Syntext Live. Until then, I will see y'all later. This is Syntext punching out.